All right, folks, John Henning here with the Franchise Radio Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we are joined by Maya Ratcliff, the CEO and founder of Hawaii Fluid Art. Maya, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Well, aloha, and thank you for having me.
That's right. It is aloha. I always see that in your emails when you email me. So that's great. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Now I want to get started a little bit about you. We'll talk plenty about the business, but I always like to get to know the person a little bit. So let's start out the discussion here. Tell us a little bit about Maya. Where are you from? What's your background? Maybe even before you got into starting Hawaii Fluid Art. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So, I was originally from Northern California and I've lived all over the United States. My last 10 years were spent on the Big Island of Hawaii, as well as Maui and Oahu. I am the mother of two grown sons and the grandmother to my favorite person in the whole world, Jasper, my 9-year-old grandson.
And I heard you're going to a hockey game later today. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is his first hockey game, and we are going to have a great time, make some core memories.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. Now, let's talk about your company and talk about it from the perspective of your why. Like, why did you start your franchise company? What prompted you to say, you know what, this would be a good franchise. Like, take us down that path of the startup side.
Well, actually, Hawaii Flute Art was started by accident. I was a consultant who worked with small to medium-sized businesses, and I helped restructure those businesses. I found myself needing a hobby. I just needed a break from the day-to-day grind of dealing with problems, and I started taking all these different art classes. I was horrible at all of them. And I came home one day and I was telling my husband about it and I was cussing. And he said, "Honey, I don't think a hobby is supposed to make you cuss." And then I
Oh,
started playing with my own art forms. I thought there's got to be a better way to create art because art is supposed to make you feel good about yourself.
hmm.
So I started playing with paint and canvases and I started creating some things that were really beautiful. I started posting them on Facebook and soon people started asking me to teach. So I converted my two-car garage into a studio, and there is where Hawaii Fluid Art was born. Now, fast forward, I decided that I wanted to create a mobile component of the business where I could go to schools and senior centers and do off-site events. So I started working with a large, it was like a subdivision where the rich and famous hung out. And I was teaching week after week, Friday after Friday. And one evening after an experience, a class that I was teaching, this well-known group of actors and actresses came up to me and said, "Maya, we've traveled the world. We've never seen anything like you do. We think everyone deserves to experience Hawaii Fluid Art, and we think you should franchise." And I said, "Like Taco Bell?" And they laughed and said, "It's so much more than Taco Bell." And we sat there for a couple hours and spoke.
Hmm.
And I went home, started researching franchising, and wrote my ridiculous list of goals right then and there. And here we are, 3.5 years later, and we have 54 locations open around the United States, another 40 in development, and things are going pretty well.
Well, that's a great story. I love the accidental part and the and the Taco Bell reference because so many people, when they're exploring franchises, they just automatically think of, food franchises, right? It's like that's the most common thing that most regular people, entrepreneurs, when they're thinking about looking at it, and you wouldn't naturally think, hey, let's look at an art company for a franchise, right?
Absolutely. A lot of people don't understand the depth of franchising, just how broad it is, how deep franchising goes. Almost every business that we see in a strip mall is a franchise. I didn't understand that. And I spent 2.5, 3 years working on the franchise to build it to what it is now. I wish there would have been a playbook, a little easier path than the path that I've taken. But I like to share my experience with other people that are thinking of franchising and other founders to help maybe ease their path for them.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your business model. Kind of give us that high level overview of your business model. What exactly do you do? Who are your customers? It seems like you've got a couple different customer groups is what I've picked up already, and a couple different ways that you can get to those customers. Tell us about the business model.
So high level, Hawaii Fluid Art is an art studio. In the front is a retail section where we feature local artists, artisans, jewelry makers, candle makers, etc. It's a place to feature local artists. It's also a way to draw people into the store. In the rear of the studio, or the retail footprint, is our studio where we have 27 different art forms that anybody of any age or ability can do. The art is easy, it's fun, it's fast, it's a one-time experience with a great return rate. So if you're 2 or 102, if you're fully able or differently abled, all of our studios are ADA compliant, easy to access, and it's just a lot of fun for everyone. Now, we also have the mobile component where we can take the party to, like I said, schools or corporate events, bat mitzvahs, uh, all the different types of our off-site experiences that we can do really range from corporations to schools to rehabilitation centers, etc. Now, most of the business is done in studio where we partner with businesses, schools, um, let's see, even like daycares, etc. And when people ask us what our ideal audience is, it's anybody and everybody. Now, who do we market to? Well, we market to women between the ages of 20 and 65 because those women are the ones that plan the birthday parties, plan the date nights, etc. But once you become a student of Hawaii Fluid Art, our return rate is so high that we're actually launching our membership platform April 1st. So we're very excited about that opportunity for our franchisees to have hundreds of members in their studios come and visit them each month.
From a business perspective, I see all kinds of things we could talk about there. I see broad customer base, multiple revenue streams. I love the component where the front of the location is the way to bring the community of artisans into the facility. I can't even imagine what that does to your local PR, like your credibility in the community by helping them, right? And then you've got
Absolutely.
that broad customer base. You said 2 to 102. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like now, and I like how you also spelled out Maya. Like, who do you advertise to, right? Because you can have customers, but I think you've really narrowed down that the person that does that planning and makes those decisions, and then the final thing in that segment right there was the membership. And I know we've talked before, but I am a huge membership model type guy. Like that's like music to my ears when I hear that from a business perspective.
We're so excited about it. It rolls out, like I said, April 1st, and we know that the community wants it. They're asking us all the time, when are you going to have a membership? We come in every week or once a month. We want to bring the
Right.
whole family, and our membership's going to be good nationwide. So no matter where you purchase your membership, if you're on vacation in Hawaii, you can use it. And if your home state is Oklahoma, you can use it there as well.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. That's great. Well, I mean, there's so many things that could go into this next question. I already know a couple of the answers, but what really separates you from the competition? There's a lot of scenarios out there, a lot of companies out there where people can do other things. How do you guys really differentiate your company and your offering in the community?
Well, I think what really differentiates us is our selection of art, but also the ease of the art. You don't need any artistic skill. It's not like you're going to one of those other paint places where you're painting a bird on a branch in front of a barn and you're never going to hang it in your house. You're actually creating something beautiful or useful. We do fluid art. We do resin tumblers so you can create your own cups and wine glasses. We have wearable art where you can decorate your own hats and jean jackets, and the list goes on and on. And so when you create something that's truly beautiful and you're proud to hang it on your wall, you come back again. And pretty soon you're creating a piece as big as 4 foot by 5 foot and putting it in your dining room or your office. And so that's one of the things that differentiates us. But what also differentiates us is the aloha spirit. Whenever you walk into one of our stores, you notice the fragrance. It's a sun-kissed orange smell, and our walls are black, and we have neon, and we have live tropical plants. And as soon as the door chimes, we say, Aloha, welcome to Hawaii Fluid Art. We're all about giving back words of encouragement. We're about giving back to our communities, and we're about giving back to our franchisees and their employees. We really value the family that we have at Hawaii Fluid Art.
Well, I love a lot of things about what you just said there. And, I can see the difference just from a couple of those things. Like I'm visualizing walking in the front door. I'd love at the end of this if you could email me a couple of pictures of a couple of pieces of the art that someone would create, because we can put that right on the page for you. Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, we
I
will.
think if somebody were to visualize that, because you hear Hawaii fluid art, in my mind, I don't even know really what to expect.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the visualization would help a lot of folks and, help them see what that is. And then I think where you were going with some of that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that culture, that aloha spirit, the feeling that folks get when they're coming in, and just as importantly, after their event and their experience when they're leaving and how they feel. Because I would imagine, Maya, that some of your business has to come from referral.
Oh, yeah, we have a great word of mouth. And more importantly, we have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So when you come into our studios, one of the other things that differentiates us is we have either a mural or fabulous wings of all sorts of types and styles and designs painted on our walls. So we give you this incredible area to take a picture, record a video, etc. And then our in-store team members are also trained to take photos of you in front of your art. And then you can post it on your social media, and that really helps spread the word beyond just the local community. We have people that'll travel 2 or 3 hours to come to a studio because they saw us on TikTok.
That's great. I love that aspect. So you can reach out into your community, even outside of the community, and draw more people in. Because who doesn't want to see themselves and or their friends and family through the social media aspect of it and see what they've created? And I imagine there's a lot of engagement and interaction with those posts too.
A
So
100%. People love to see their friends being happy. And one of the reasons that people are so happy at Hawaii Fluid Art is that we believe in words of encouragement. So the entire time that you are doing an experience, it's good job, great color choice. Man, it's like you've done this before. Our in-store team are trained from our trainers who go on site for 8 days, and they learn everything about the Hawaii spirit, the aloha spirit, what really brings a customer back, and how to make that customer feel special. So our training is incredible, and our customers benefit because of that incredible training.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to talk a little bit about the business side of it now. Let's talk just a little bit about the numbers.
Mhm.
And then the very next thing, we'll talk a little bit more about the training as well. And then we'll go through some other things. What's the cost to start a franchise? Just generally speaking, I always tell everybody to reference the franchise disclosure documents, but just give us a general idea of what it costs to start your franchise.
Anywhere between 183,000 if you follow our guidelines perfectly, all the way up to 330,000 if you decide you need some fancy $50,000 floor. So, like we say, follow the guidelines and you're going to save some money. One of the things that is really incredible about Hawaii Fluid Art is that all of our classes and experiences run at a 90 to 95% profit margin. So our cost of goods are only between 5 and 10% on all of the different art experiences that we offer.
That's great. So you got some really healthy margins built in there. So you've got an investment. I love how you explained that investment too. As you know, I'm franchise background myself. I love that explanation a lot, because I've seen it happen so many times myself too. Somebody wants that special marble floor imported from wherever, and it has to have it.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna, change that cost structure. So that's a great explanation. Now, how does the training work? You mentioned it briefly, and you said the 8 days. Just kind of give us a breakdown of exactly how that training works.
So we not only do we have something called Hawaii Fluid Art University, which is our online training portal, where we have one sheets, we have recordings, we have podcasts, and we have videos that you can watch anytime. But more importantly, we come to you, we help you set up your studio, and then we stay on for 8 days and train you, but more importantly, your in-store team members on every aspect of our business, how to mix paint, how to resin, how to treat the customer, how to use the point of sale, etc. So it's 8 days, 8 hours a day, and we're there for your soft opening, we're there for your actual opening, and we are encouraging you and your team members 100% of the time. But once we leave, you still have that on line presence if you do forget something, if you need a refresher, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it sounds really comprehensive, and of course, you're going to learn so much in a period of time there. So it's nice to have that follow up, and we'll talk a little bit more about the support side here in just a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the location that's needed. Give us an idea of what type of location someone needs, where are they typically located, how does the real estate identification sites, site selection process work with you guys?
All right, that is a great question. So we are partnered with Morrow Hill, but we have an in-house real estate specialist that helps every one of our franchisees find the perfect space to call home for their Hawaii fluid art. Our ideal situation in real estate is actually an outdoor lifestyle center, something that's walkable, that has a large footprint, such as a grocery store or a Home Goods, a Target. We are definitely A-grade paper. We don't like to be next to a vape shop and a dollar store. We like to be in a classier environment. Square footage anywhere from 1,600 to 2,200, depending on how many students you want to be able to have in your studio at one time. Now, to go beyond that, we have been very fortunate that landlords around the United States reach out to us, offering us extremely good deals for our franchisees and offer to cover most of the time 100% of the build out costs for the franchisee, as long as we'll come to their shopping center and open a Hawaii fluid art.
Yeah, I imagine that you're bringing in quite a bit of traffic into their shopping center. So that's a great scenario to be in because obviously that's not always the case with businesses, right?
Absolutely. We're so fortunate. All of the big name landlords and real estate investment trusts reach out to us on a daily and weekly basis, letting us know that they have a new location coming available or that they have the ideal space for a Hawaii fluid art. So our average search time is reduced to about 6 weeks in order to find the perfect footprint for a studio.
That's great. And for anybody listening to this episode, when you're talking to franchisors, that's a great question. That's 6 weeks. It's 6 weeks sounds like a long time, but in real estate search for franchising, that's a really short period of time.
Yes, it is.
That's great. Now, from the time that folks sign that lease, Maya, when, I've gone through that real estate search, if we've identified that perfect location, we've got everything negotiated, I've signed the lease today. Typically, how long does it take for someone to get open from that lease signing until they're ready to, quote, open the doors of the business?
This is one of my favorite questions. 42 days.
Not 41, not 43. You got it down to 42 days.
That is our average, 42 days. The fastest we've been open after lease signing is about 12 days. Now, let me explain why. We don't have a true build out. We have something called a refresh, where we take a space with all of its uniqueness and character and we turn it into a Hawaii fluid art. We do not want to tear down walls. We do not want to have to put in new plumbing. Usually, all we have to do is our paint package and our lighting package. And so permits fly by. Sometimes they don't even have to have a permit. The construction, now we have a construction manager in-house that reviews every bid that a franchisee gets because we know how much it costs per square foot to paint. We know how many looms of lighting are necessary, and we know how to speed things up and save them money. So we have a very quick opening time.
Well, I like the way you really explain the refresh versus a build out because I'm not sure if everybody understands the difference there. A lot of companies have to basically gut the location and do a complete build to that templated cookie cutter type business. It sounds like your flexibility with that location is a huge benefit, and that can lead to them having a lower cost of entry and opening in a faster turnaround time.
100%. We want it to be recognizable as a Hawaii flute art,
Hmm.
but unique to the area.
I
So if
like it.
arches are really big in a certain part of the country, let's leave the arch. Let's put a big aloha across it. Why tear out good shelving when it could be painted? So we really have a lot of unique ways to take a space, turn it into a Hawaii flute art, but keep the character.
I like it. I like it a lot now. So we're open, we're operating, we're going to come in at 41 days. We're going to get that average down from Maya when we get our franchises open. I'm open and operating. What kind of support do you provide to the franchisees? Like, what does that look like if I need help as a franchise owner? Are there folks that I'm reaching out to? Or are you reaching out to me? What does that look like?
So we not only have incredible vendor partners for our point of sale and for our online booking system, but we have a corporate staff of 14 people. We are available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. On the weekends, there is a rotation, so you can always get a hold of somebody. We have an in-house ad agency. We carry and do the majority of the heavy lifting on all of your socials. We set them up. We post 3 times a week. We also manage all of your Google reviews, so you don't have to worry about that. We manage your websites, your SEO, and we have incredible SEM partners to help boost your local presence on Google, etc. So we are considered a full support brand where a lot of brands may have 1 or 2 people at the corporate headquarters. Like I said, we have 14 and we have 54 locations open right now. That is a nice ratio for support versus franchisee.
Definitely is. Sounds like a very comprehensive support system as well. So, that's really good to hear because, if I'm a first time franchise owner, first time business owner, I don't even know what I don't know until I actually get open, right?
Absolutely. And sometimes you think you know more than you do. And we let you just work that process out because what we found is once you realize that you don't know what you don't know, you are more willing to take our guidance and our advice. And so we work with you as a business partner, and we're here when you need help, and we process everything quickly for our franchisees as far as marketing requests and those type of things. And it's just important to us that we always have clear, concise communication with our franchisees. And in reality, we're kind of like a big happy family, and I like that.
That's good to hear. That's great to hear, actually. The franchise communication with franchisees and vice versa is always, critically important. I've said that for years. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the most important things in franchising, right?
Absolutely. You need to, when you're giving information to franchisees. So we have something weekly called Coffee with Maya. That is an optional call. It is Wednesday mornings. It's only for a half an hour. We usually have 40 to 50 people joining that call. Then once a month, we have our All Z call. It's an announcement call. Then we go over everything for the next month, anything that's important. But after every call, we send out a summary email of what that call consisted of. We email it, but we also upload it into our document storage because there are some people that are really busy and have a regular job, they're
Sure.
absentee owners. Well, they want to be able to get those communications as well. We also record those and post them on our private Vimeo page. So a franchisee can read it, they can hear it on the podcast, they can watch it on the video, or they can attend it live. And we really believe in offering all of those different access points to be sure that a franchisee is always kept up to date on everything happening at the corporate level.
Well, that's good to hear because, everybody consumes things like this differently, right? Some folks are visual, some want to, I'm driving down the road, I want to listen to the audio on the podcast. Other folks want to read it. Some want to attend it live and engage and, get their questions answered during that period and things like that. That's pretty cool to hear because, offering it all those different ways, it just covers a broader, need amongst the franchisees.
100%. And one of the reasons that we do things like that is everybody has a different way of absorbing information. And like I said, all of our studios are ADA compliant. We believe in offering the same service to you no matter your ability or different ability. And we feel the same way for our franchisees. We just want to be able to communicate with them in a way that works for them.
Talking about people, as you could probably imagine, finding and keeping good people is the core of any business, right?
Yeah.
So, locations are important and all that other stuff is certainly important, but I found that people tend to be one of the big differentiators of a location. Walk us through the employee breakdown. How many do I have? What roles are there? Just give us an overview of who does what and how many folks do I need at my franchise.
Another great question and another one I love to answer. Total employee count for a Hawaii Fluid Art is 2. We only need double time on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The rest of the time, one person in studio can handle it completely. So you're either going to have one full-time and 2 part-times, or you're going to have 2 full-time employees. We name one of those as the key holder and give them a little additional responsibilities, such as managing the inventory, making sure that everything is stocked and clean, etc. Now that is for an absentee owner.
Mhm.
If you are a hands-on owner and you want to be in studio all the time, I always suggest that you actually take one of the part-time roles, because you should be focusing on the business, not necessarily working in the business. And most of our stores are open 7 days a week. Some choose to close on Mondays, but our standard hours are 11 to 7. Most of our stores have little kitchenettes, etc. So you can always warm up your lunch there. If you're an employee, you don't even have to leave the store. And our team members are rays of sunshine. We're not looking for an art instructor. We don't need to be lectured on color theory. What we're looking for is that kind of person that when they walk in the room, they light it up. A really good food and beverage server, somebody that had been in the hospitality industry, somebody that was a daycare worker, things like that. We have team members that are as young as 18, and we have team members that are as wise as 75. So it really depends on the location, but realistically, 2 employees is all you need.
You know, Maya, I've heard some of the phrases you've used, and I know I can tell that that aloha spirit is coming through because of some of the things that you're saying. And I hope the listeners are hearing the words that you're using as wise as 72, right? So
Absolutely.
that comes through. I can feel it on my side, so I hope our listeners do too. Now let's talk about the marketing. You know, marketing's important in every business. I'm opened up. I've got my small team, which I love to hear the number of employees. And I'm sorry, I want to pause for a second. You made a really good statement there about the if the owner's going to be in the business, make sure that they're one of those part-time folks. And I think that that's a great idea because that working on versus working in the business every day, that gives them that flexibility to still be part of the community and help grow that business and bring additional business in. So from the marketing side, what does that look like? Who's doing it? Where are most of my people coming from?
So our in-house ad agency does most of the heavy lifting for you. We're going to design all of your print materials. We're going to design any tents, tables, even the mobile unit van wrap. We have thousands of templates already designed that all you have to do is change the information on for your store. We have thousands of corporate videos and photography there and ready for you. Now, we also offer corporate photography and videography if you want us to come in and feature your store. We also partner with a national marketing firm that will take on any excess marketing that you want to do. They will lift the weight for you. But what we like to see is our owners engaging in the community, going to Chamber of Commerce meetings, and comping classes. Now, people will say to me, what do you mean by comping classes? Well, we believe in inviting the school district to come down. We believe in inviting the news media because our cost of goods are so low that you can't get that kind of marketing. We're talking $5 or less per person for the first 6 or 8 weeks that you're open, just inviting people in, influencers, radio hosts. We're talking about the news loves us. They love to come down and do morning shows at Hawaii Fluid Art. And that's all because of the outreach that we do at a corporate level. When you pair that with a dedicated, driven owner, it just explodes. The customers come from literally everywhere, from walk-by traffic, from social media, from our paid ads, you name it, you're going to see customers coming in the door as soon as you open. Now, one of the things that's really powerful for us is influencers through social media. Now, we don't pay them. We give them a free experience, and they have such a great time that their 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers see it, And the next few weeks, you're just flooded with new influencer type, as I put in quotes, people that are going to blast you all over social media. It almost has a life of its own. When you have 10 people that have posted a photo and they have 10 friends, each one of those people now had 100 people see Hawaii Fluid Art. Now they're going to come in. We do so many fun promotions and outreach through our communities. And like I said, corporate does most of the heavy lifting, but you will have a day by day game plan for you for the first 18 weeks that your store is open. And then we have a refresh that runs every 8 weeks. And all you have to do is follow the plan.
I love that plan, and I you pointed out too that cost of goods is so low that you can't buy the advertising for that price, right? You bring in that local influencer that has that influence in the market area and multiply it out and goes viral a little bit there. I love the diversity of customer acquisition too, right? You know, you're not getting all of your customers from just one spot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We are an art experience for all. So whether you're 2 or 102, each each generation has a different marketing draw. So it's not that we're going to advertise in the newspaper because that's not really our thing, but are the grandparents going to see their grandchildren's social media and then think, hey, let's go in there on a date night? Absolutely. And it's just cross generational. And we see incredible explosions in studios when they hit about 90 days open.
Let's talk about the franchise owner just a little bit. You kind of gave us an idea of where they could fit into the business if they want to be in there, and we're the semi-absentee type scenario. What type of person or personality makes kind of that ideal fit for your franchise as an owner? Where do they come from? Who are they? Who's been successful with you?
So diverse. It's so diverse. The number one most important thing to us as a brand is that you're a good human. And we get to know you before we invite you into the brand. And I will tell you right now, I'm very picky. I say no more often than I say yes. We have 2 day discovery days that are mandatory. We're going to go out to lunch. We're going to hang out in the studio. We're going to do all these fun things. The franchisees have a good spirit. They have drive, excitement, ambition, but completely different backgrounds. We have doctors, we have attorneys, we have IT professionals, we have nurses, we have people that used to own a dog grooming company. I mean, it just goes across the board. The one thing that they all say is, I wanted to do something fun and for my community. And that is really something that we see amongst all of our franchisees is that they wanted to give back to their community on a deeper level. And that's something that Hawaii Fluid Art celebrates is giving back to our communities.
Let's talk a little bit about the day in the life of an owner. You mentioned a little bit about, like the chamber and meeting these other folks. What does just like a typical day look like for a franchise owner? What are they doing?
Well, if they're going to dedicate 2 hours a day as an absentee owner, that's a lot of time. 2 hours a day, you can get a lot done. And that's reaching out to the news media. It's going to a Chamber of Commerce event. It's reaching out to the school districts. But most importantly, it's making sure that your in-store team members are taken care of. They are the face of our brand. They are absolutely the aloha. They are the spirit. And as long as your in-store team members are educated on the systems and the promos, etc. They do a phenomenal job. And so really the franchise owner's responsibility is making sure that team is happy and productive. And other than that, just following that game plan takes about an hour and a half a day. And all they have to do is check off the box and do the task, and they're going to be successful.
Sounds like they're gonna have some fun along the way too. So,
We have fun, I'll tell you that. We actually start our, have you ever, that song Cool in the Gang Celebration? You know the
oh
song?
yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Well, that's how we start our calls. I want everybody boogieing in their seats. Everybody better be moving because
I
that's how
love
we're going to
it.
start our calls because we are all about having fun, being profitable, and giving back.
All right, good deal. I love it. I love it. I didn't know you were gonna sing on the podcast here. What? What does talking as we wrap up here, I want to talk a little bit about like the you mentioned like the 2-day discovery day and things like that. What does the due diligence look like? So I've inquired, I've come to you through a couple different sources. I've raised my hand in some form and said, Maya, I'm interested in learning about your franchise. What does that look like? How long does it take? What are some of the milestone type steps?
Well, the first call is going to be with myself, the CEO and founder, and our brand president, which is very backward from most brands. I am the first point of contact for all new candidates. Then we move forward and we invite you to Coffee with Maya for candidates. So once a week, we do a Coffee with Maya for candidates. Sometimes we have 6 on the phone, sometimes we have 30. And that's just a casual environment to be able to ask questions. And the reason we do it in a group setting is because sometimes when one person asks a question, it'll really resonate with another candidate who maybe didn't think to ask that question. Then we're going to move on to a territory call with Trinity Kirk, who is our brand president. And we're going to talk all things real estate and about territory and all the exciting things that come with picking out real estate and construction management. We want you to really be aware. Then you're going to move on and talk to our director of marketing, Susie, who is also a franchisee. So not only is she our director of marketing, but she is a franchisee. Your next call is going to be to go over the FDD, answer any questions there are. You're going to do that call once again with Trinity, our brand president. Fast forward, we have some other group calls. Once again, another coffee with Maya. Then we dig into financials. We have pro formas that we ask for our candidates to fill out. We ask them to give us a sample marketing example of something that they would like to see in their communities. How would they market? We then move forward to detailed and in-depth background checks of our candidates, all the way from legal to credit and beyond. We want to make sure that they are a good human being. We don't want anybody out driving a mobile unit that's had 4 DUIs. Then once they've passed that, we are going to invite them to a discovery day. The discovery day is in Dallas, Texas, and it is a 2-day event. Day 1, we spend in studio doing all the different art forms, and we're going to spend about 5 hours in studio having fun. We're going to go out to dinner that evening. The next day, we are going to all bundle in a van and we're going to go do studio tours. You're going to meet the owners of the studio. You're going to meet store level team members. You're going to have some more fun art. And then we're going to go to a fun lunch and we'll wrap it up doing one more art experience at our Cedar Hill location and then out to dinner. And that is what our discovery days look like. After the discovery day, we do a breakdown call with you to make sure that you didn't have any final questions. At that point, we will decide if we're going to award territory to you. And then we have a signing ceremony, and then you're a part of the family.
Well, that process is quite different than what most folks are probably used to in going through franchise due diligence. I love the fact that you're getting to know them and that you're talking with them early on and that they go through, it sounds very structured, and that they're going through and learning all those different aspects of the business. And then they're having some fun along the way as well.
They are, and they only have to watch one PowerPoint the entire time.
I like that, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there that wants to see 5 PowerPoints, right?
Not me, not me.
Right, right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the future of the company. It seems like you've got some momentum, you're growing. What does the future look like in the near future over the next couple of years for you guys?
Great question. So we've really reached quite a few of our milestones. We have our own private paint brand. We also have our own private resin brand, which is a non-toxic, non-VOC resin. We
Mhm.
also have our own secret sauce brand. So we have an entire supply company for the brand. Our estimates are by the end of this year, the end of 2025, we will have 100 locations open here in the United States. We are currently negotiating for some master territories in other countries. We're very excited about that. We have an Amazon store launching shortly that's going to sell some of our product. It will not compete with the franchisee, but it will definitely help with brand recognition and name recognition. We'd like to see our private paints in Hobby Lobby by the end of the year. And within the next 24 to 36 months, we should have 350 open locations here in the United States.
That's some great growth plans. I love to hear it. I love talking to franchisors that have a clear defined plan and the growth or the growth and then the plan to get there as well. So it sounds like you've got a lot of things lined up for your company.
We absolutely do. We believe in always having two main goals, our most important goals, and we work on those every day. Once we've achieved those, we will add in additional goals. Our team is very focused. We have excellent coaches. I have a CEO coach, and my entire team and staff also have coaches to make sure that we're always aligned.
That's great to hear. So now let's pretend that I'm interested in your franchise and I want to learn more. What's the best way for someone to schedule that first call with you? What should I do?
Reach out to info@hawaiifluidart.com and let us know that you have an interest, and we will send you a link that you can schedule at your convenience, and I will be the first one on that call.
That's great. I'll make sure to get all that information and put it right underneath the episode too, so folks can just copy and paste it or click on it and go right to their email for you. As we wrap up here, Maya, is there anything else you want to share with our folks as you wrap up?
Well, what I'd like to say is mahalo. Mahalo for your time. That means thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come on your show and share a little bit about our brand. And hopefully it's going to resonate with somebody because we're always looking for an incredible member of the HFA family.
Well, mahalo to you too. I appreciate your time and getting back to me and jumping right into the episode here and recording because I think that this was a great interview and I actually learned quite a bit about your franchise. I thought I did some due diligence ahead of time and read some things, but I'm really glad I got a chance to talk with you because I learned a lot about your company.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you too. So, folks, there you go. Maya Ratcliff, CEO and founder of Hawaii Fluid Art. We'll make sure to include all of Maya's contact information right underneath the episode. When you do reach out to her, make sure you mention the franchise radio show so that she knows that you listened to the episode. Thank you so much and have a great day.